Our top story today is the changing of the guard in West Bloomfield for their local police department. On Friday, it was the final day at the helm for West Bloomfield Police Chief Mike Patton after nearly 15 years serving as Chief of Police and nearly 40 years working for the West Bloomfield Police Department. He exited on Friday, and a new police chief and deputy chief were also sworn in. But before the new era begins with Chief Dale Young and Deputy Chief Scott Mong, plenty of people got together at Shenandoah Country Club on Friday night to reflect on Chief Patton's impact on the local area and on, of course, our West Bloomfield Police Department. Leaders from across greater West Bloomfield and around the state spoke about the chief's reputation, both as a leader, but also as someone with a lasting reputation for his heart toward greater West Bloomfield.
When I think about Chief Patton, two words come to mind immediately, and the first one is respect. And within our organization, Chief Patton, or Mike, has huge respect. If I could deny him his retirement, I would.
You have a witty sense of humor and a sharp mind, but most importantly, you have an incredibly big heart. While I will not share our private conversations with everyone tonight, I want everyone to know that Mike Patton truly loves our community, and he loves those who he has led over his career as police chief.
You've led by example. We know you've always chosen the path of righteousness, and you've made our department a model for other municipalities.
He's one of those people that I've always been able to bounce ideas off of. If we needed something done, Mike is one of those people that we could call.
A lot of times you can't tell what's real and what's not in terms of the threats, but you always know that you're going to be okay because of someone like Chief Patton. And when the announcement came that his well-deserved, yes, Louise, well-deserved retirement was coming, we just thought, oh no, now what? Because there was always someone who was on the other side of the phone, who was communicating with us, who had a plan, and who just made you feel good.
In addition, people from across Chief Patton's career in West Bloomfield and beyond spoke about him not only as a leader within the police department, but also as a staunch community advocate out in greater West Bloomfield beyond his day-to-day job as chief of police.
He often said that being a police officer is the greatest job in the world, and he would have done it for free. I don't doubt that for a second.
We have a tremendous community here. I mean, what we do for you, but we could not do it without you. And I think that's very important. We enjoy, I think we've earned very strong community support here in West Bloomfield. And I think that's important. Not all communities have that. You know, we also have, there's a strong relationship with the fire department. Not all communities have that either, do we, Chief? He's not paying attention anymore. But we enjoy good support here. We provide great service, but we would not be able to do what we do without the support of the community here. After almost 40 years of service here, I've been honored to be in service here to all of you.
And lastly, also a special message from U.S. Representative Haley Stevens, who showed up near the end of the celebration for the chief with a very special message for this community leader from our U.S. government.
On behalf of Congresswoman Haley Stevens and the 119th Congress of the United States, we recognize West Bloomfield Police Chief Mike Patton. Chief Patton has served the community of West Bloomfield, and he began his time with West Bloomfield serving as a patrol officer. From there, he served as detective, sergeant, lieutenant, and of course, police chief. And he's been an active member of the community, working with organizations from the Optimist Club to United We Walk, the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, of course, our great friends from the Chaldean Chamber and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So, sir, I would not miss this event. You really are best in business, and I like to say that, yes, there's a lot of bragging points from Michigan right now, like our #1 seeded football team that go Lions, who we're not going to jinx, but we're going to brag about, but it's also people like you. And look, it's a lot to recruit people into police departments and into the profession, and you are part of that pathway to enabling the next generation and enabling someone like me to say, this is how it gets done and how it gets done so well. So Congratulations, sir.
It was a beautiful night celebrating the long-lasting impact of Chief Patton with so many people from across the years that made this community special to him, but also made him special to this greater West Bloomfield community. Now, if you've had a chance to get to know the chief over the years, you would really know that the last thing he would want on his way out the door is this big celebration and this grand send-off. But even amongst our greatest leaders, sometimes, even in today's day and age, they can admit some of their flaws.
I had no idea that this was going on. I did ask. The one thing I wanted when I retired was not to have a party. I just wanted to leave quietly this Friday after they swore in Dale, and I would have been just fine. But this, I got to tell you, this is so much better than the cupcakes we normally have in the training room. So thank you very much. This is really great.
A lot more than cupcakes at Shenandoah Country Club on Friday night. Plenty of people from across the West Bloomfield Police Department, leadership from across our local area and around the state, and so many friends and family joining the chief for his grand send-off as he completes a storied career in greater West Bloomfield as the chief of police. In addition, on Friday, the changing of the guard official within the West Bloomfield Police Department as newly appointed Chief Dale Young, as well as newly appointed Deputy Chief Scott Mong, took their oaths of office at West Bloomfield Town Hall on Friday afternoon, officially beginning their tenures atop the leadership of the West Bloomfield Police Department. We had a chance to speak to some of our local leaders on the changing of this leadership in the West Bloomfield Police Department and the impact of these two new leaders that they will surely have on our community for years to come.
I have had the opportunity to work with Dale now for a while and see his ability and his responsibility and his commitment and dedication to the township, and I am confident that he's going to be a tremendous asset. As I said in there was a week when then Chief Patton went out of town and Dale Young was deputy chief, and he was really tested. It was a wild week in West Bloomfield, and he more than met the test. So I think that we made a great choice. I'm excited to work with him, and I'm proud that he's going to be the representative of the township. In many ways, the police chief the police and fire chief are the most visible people in the township, and I am proud to have Dale be the face that people see when they look at West Bloomfield Township.
Well, his competence and character cannot be questioned. He's really truly a good person, and I think that he'll serve the department and the township excellent.
Well, the very best wishes for him. The township board made a wise choice in picking him as the new chief of police. He's a lot of great energy, a lot of great ideas, well respected by the team members. So I think moving forward, the township and the police department will be in a really great place. He's always met expectations and exceeded them. And most importantly, as the outgoing chief of police, he was always being the good angel on my shoulder, giving me good advice, making sure that I stayed out of trouble, and always be grateful for that.
Obviously, we have had an amazing chief of police in Chief Michael Patton. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor to work with him all these years. And when he first started talking about retirement, I was concerned. I'm not going to lie. I was like, how will we ever have a chief that can be anywhere near as great as Chief Patton? But over the last several years, he would bring Dale Young along and be involved in a lot of important decisions and budget matters. And I started to see what Chief saw in Dale Young. And so as time went on and he was deputy chief and involved in a lot of our capital improvement programs and board meetings, I started to understand the depth of Dale Young, and our newly appointed Chief Dale Young will be a fantastic chief. I'm very confident in his abilities and his integrity, which is the utmost importance in a police chief.
Plenty more to come from this big change in greater West Bloomfield. Newly appointed chiefs and deputy chiefs at the West Bloomfield Police Department. Dale Young beginning his first full week as chief of police, and Scott Mong beginning as the new deputy chief for the West Bloomfield Police Department. More information and updates on the West Bloomfield Police can be found on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. Updates, more information, emergency info, everything you need to know. Facebook at West Bloomfield PD. Beginning his first week as the chief of police in greater West Bloomfield for the West Bloomfield Police Department is Chief Dale Young, who joins us now as he begins a new era in the West Bloomfield Police Department. Chief, thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning, Tyler. How are you?
Glad to have you on. Doing fantastic, and congratulations to you as well as to Scott and so many others being elevated in their leadership in the West Bloomfield Police Department. Now that the moment is here, now that you've taken over the gig, what is this like for you? Now that you're now officially in that capacity, taking over, filling those big shoes of Chief Patton.
Yes, it's been a whirlwind, but I am extremely fortunate that Chief Patton put together such a strong foundation and the leadership that we have here at the police department. And we're all trying to get ourselves settled right now into our new capacities, and we're ready to start moving forward.
So as you made that transition, Friday was the last day for Chief Patton. You were sworn in. Deputy Chief Mong was sworn in. So how do you get that start as the new police chief and start to bring your leadership style into the fold while maintaining the reputation that has been built over many years, many decades, even preceding Chief Patton in West Bloomfield's police department?
Yes, it's a tall order for sure, but that's where I start to rely on the team of officers that I have that work for the department. I feed off of their energy, they feed off of mine. And as we start to move forward, we're going to start hitting some of the goals that I'm going to set for them.
And it's a pretty big accomplishment, too, for you to be promoted to the chief of police from deputy chief. And it's a big moment, too, for the police department because it's an historic appointment. This is the first time that a chief of police has been elevated from within the department rather than being hired from outside. So speak to that element of your promotion now to the chief of police and what sort of sense of pride, accomplishment, or honor even beyond that brings to you.
Yes, actually, just one thing I wanted to point out to you is just that, so Chief Patton actually was the first one to be hired to police chief within the department. However, I would be the first cadet that has made it from that rank all the way through. But bottom line is that this is a fantastic community. I feel extremely fortunate and humbled to be able to lead the men and women of this police department. And as you pointed out, it has a very rich, strong tradition of strong leadership at the helm. So I don't take that lightly, and I look forward to continuing that pursuit of excellence.
Any leader of any organization, whether it's police or it's other public safety, it's government, or even in a business or sport, is always going to give so much of that credit to their team below them or working alongside them in the leadership. As we make this transition to a new police chief and a new deputy chief, speak to the other leadership, the sergeants, the lieutenants, the detectives, and so many others administratively across the department, and their strength of leadership as we also begin a new era for them.
Yes, in fact, I couldn't have said it better. The thing I would add, though, is just that within the department, within all the ranks in the department, there's a strong institutional knowledge base. Some people have been here for upwards of 30 years, and we're going to lean on that experience to make sure that we know where we've been so that we can know where we're going to go.
West Bloomfield Police Chief Dale Young is with us on the Splash Live, his first full week at the helm as the Chief of Police in West Bloomfield. More information on the West Bloomfield Police Department can be found on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. In addition, you can see the full ceremony of Chief Young taking the oath of office as well as Deputy Chief Scott Mong as well on Civic Center TV and on demand on our website as well as on our YouTube page at Civic Center TV. Chief Young, before we let you go, any lasting message you'd like to give to the community as you begin your tenure as our new Chief of Police in West Bloomfield Township?
Yes, I just want the community to know that we are going to continue the same level of excellence in policing services that we were giving you. How we do that may change a little bit over time, but we know that the formula that Chief Patton put together is strong and viable. So if there are slight changes as we move forward, please understand that we know that we are not going to jeopardize your level of service.
Well, Chief, we appreciate your time and having you on. Before we let you go, you mentioned, kind of maintaining the momentum that Chief Patton had built over the years and with his advocacy, with the way that he communicated with the community. As you begin this term, what is one thing that you're hoping that you can take away from the mentorship that Chief Patton provided you and continue that reputation during your tenure as our police chief?
That'd be community engagement. He was very, very big on community engagement and making himself accessible. And I believe that through those relationships really helped us, in addition to all the men and women that also interact with the public, but certainly from the chief's position, his interaction and his engagement with the community is a great blueprint to follow.
That is for sure, and you saw that evident as so much celebration for Chief Patton on his way out, but plenty of congratulations and many happy people across the greater West Bloomfield area seeing Chief Dale Young taking the helm in West Bloomfield Township at the police department. Chief, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on. Chief Dale Young of the West Bloomfield Police Department, his first official interview with Civic Center TV as the Chief of Police for the West Bloomfield Police Department. Again, the full ceremony, you'll hear from Chief Young, you'll hear from Supervisor Warshay, so many other leaders. See the full oath of office being taken. That live program on our website as we speak, civiccentertv.com, and we'll be in regular rotation on our day-to-day broadcast schedule all throughout the week. Definitely encourage you to check that out, as you'll also perhaps be introduced to our new Deputy Chief of Police, Scott Mong, who joins us now as well on the Splash Live. Deputy Chief, congratulations, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, happy to have you on as you begin your tenure as the Deputy Chief of Police. And we've had two consecutive really excellent Deputy Chiefs in Dale Young, now our Police Chief in West Bloomfield, and previously Kurt Lawson, who's now the Chief in Franklin and Bingham Farms. But you're no stranger to a leadership role in the West Bloomfield Police Department. So, Deputy Chief, as you begin this new role, what have maybe you learned from Deputy Chiefs Young and Lawson preceding you that you hope to immediately continue as you take the helm today?
Well, some of the things that I've learned from both of those gentlemen, the importance of integrity and honesty, and also being accessible and positive, just displaying the types of qualities that you want to have emulated through the ranks with the patrol officers and the other command officers, just the type of tone that needs to be set for accessibility and, like I mentioned, just communication, things like that foster a good work environment that is based upon trust.
And we hear it from our township trustees and our elected officials. We've heard it from other leaders in the police department over the years. The term community policing is something that really is one of the core definitions used by our local police department as being one of their core values. So when you think about community policing, what does that mean to you, and why is that such an important element of the day-to-day work of the West Bloomfield Police Department?
Right. So that is a very important type of program where grassroots level people are involved in and contributing ideas and feeling that they have an open line of communication with the police department in order to report crimes, in order to make suggestions on things that they'd like to see done differently, improvements made. We need to always be accessible in that regard and take all the criticisms and comments from community leaders and also people, citizens, that are in the subdivisions to heart, and making sure that we are attentive and listening to the desires and expectations of our community.
Deputy Chief Scott Mong is with us on the Splash Live, beginning his tenure as the Deputy Chief at the West Bloomfield Police Department. You can find more updates on the police department as well as emergency information all throughout the season and all throughout the year at West Bloomfield PD. Again, that is facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. And Deputy Chief, for those that have been around Chief Patton, those who have been around Dale Young over the last couple of years especially, they've gotten to know them really well, but maybe those that are seeing you come into this role haven't gotten to know you so well just yet. So as you begin your tenure as Deputy Chief, I want to talk about what drew you to law enforcement in the first place and why this is a job that you enjoy doing and a service you enjoy providing to the community.
So when I was a young person, when I was in college, I was working over in the Palace of Auburn Hills, which doesn't exist any longer, where the Pistons played their home games. And I met a person over there who was pursuing a degree in criminal justice, who intended to get hired in police work. And that guy had a dramatic effect on me. He was kind of a mentor of sorts, and it really got me interested. The more that I learned about police work and law enforcement, the more I was drawn to it. I felt that my personality and just characteristics that I had inherently would be a good fit. And so I pursued that line of work. I wanted to get into something where I was working with the public, which was I was doing over at the Palace. I was working in food service. I enjoyed working, serving the public and interacting. And so I thought that that could be a good fit for me in terms of giving back to the community and, like I say, some of my natural abilities. And I've been very fortunate and blessed. Feel like it's more than I ever anticipated becoming a deputy chief, and I'm very grateful.
So as you begin this tenure, as you begin this new journey within your career in law enforcement in West Bloomfield, what are some of the things you're hoping to get more involved in the coming weeks and months as you start off as our deputy police chief, or things you'd like to accomplish in the near future?
Some of the things that I would like to accomplish with our new chief, Dale Young, we really want to focus hard in the coming year, especially on getting our department fully staffed, and recruiting and retention is very important to us. And we want to make that a priority and pursue it vehemently.
Well, we appreciate your time joining us today, and congratulations once again, Deputy Chief Scott Mong, with us on The Splash. Before we let you go, anything else that you'd like to say to the community as you begin this new era alongside our new police chief in Dale Young at the West Bloomfield Police Department?
Just like to say that it is my pleasure to serve in this capacity, and that I have an open door policy. I'm very accessible, so feel free to reach out, email or phone, and I'll be more than happy to get back with you and have a full discussion about whatever is on your mind.